Welcome to all. Welcome, my viewers. And today we have a special guest from Dubai. He is Premankur Das, and he's a very well-known person in the field of training and motivational speaking. He has been in this field for the last 25 years, and he is a motivational speaker, trainer, and influencer as well. So, welcome, Mr. Aprimanku Das, in my show. And it has been really a pleasure, privilege for me to have you in my show. So, thank you so much. So, let's get started without wasting too much of time. I would
Thank you
like
so
to,
much.
I would like to request you to say something about yourself so that my viewer can get to know about you, that what you do and which field you are in.
Thank you, Sanjit. It's really been a pleasure to be a part of this show. I would like to, first of all, congratulate you for taking such initiative in connecting with people who are really important nowadays. I don't know how much effective I could be to your viewers, but what I understand is my life has been always dedicated for making a difference to people, and I always want to see myself as a catalyst, how I can make a difference to people's life, how I can really be a part of someone's success journey has been always the basic mantra of my life. I always see myself as a people's person, and throughout my career, last 25 years has been always like a people function job, whether it is related with the training, whether it has been related to like some motivational speaker, whether as a keynote speaker, or in different kind of public forums. All through, I have been trying to be a catalyst. So that is
Mhm.
what I really find myself as, and whether I'm consulting, whether I'm really, giving my opinions in certain forums for helping people to live a better life. I see myself as a wellness coach, someone as a transformational agent who can really help people to go towards a better cause for their life. This day, if people really request something, that is the proper purpose, and they need to get a proper influence so that they really get successful in their life. I think that is what I have been doing all these 25 years, whether in different roles, maybe you can say, maybe as a human resource person, maybe somewhere as a trainer, somewhere as a keynote speaker, and sometimes even as a motivator. So that is also my journey. Yeah.
Okay, so that's wonderful. That's really great to know about you. So now I would like to ask you one thing that is very relevant to this day. So in this era of no digital transformation, a lot of distractions are there. So now, what really this generation, this present generation, the problem they are facing, how they can keep themselves away from this all these digital distractions. So, what would be your suggestion?
See, the first thing I would tell you that there is no getting out of this digital culture or the digital lifestyle. The reason is we are all actually now somewhere or the other being carried by a digital influence.
Hmm.
So, or rather, I can say that we are living in a digital forest. So everywhere we find that something or the other is happening where we are getting intentionally or unintentionally getting distracted,
Hmm.
whether you talk about our presence. So, yes, I can really recall one movie which recently was very much in news in Hollywood, where people were showing that how exactly one can get this digitally distracted. So, it shows in that movie that people are finding it very difficult to get rid of this digital boredom. So,
Hmm.
we are all living in a kind of a culture that a single moment we cannot stay without our digital device.
Hmm.
So we are so much engrossed, so much connected with this digital culture that whatever we do, we cannot see ourselves getting for a single moment away from these devices. So,
Hmm.
what is the solution? That's a good question. See, the first thing what one can do is we should understand that everything has its pros and cons. So, if we understand the value of a device, we should only try to use it for its limited purpose. There was a time where people were using phone only for talking, but I think this phone is now our life.
Mm-hmm.
So when we have seen that phone is becoming our life, we find all the smart applications in this smart device.
Mm-hmm.
We are getting more and more dependent on that. And I think that is also the negative side where we find that we are being influenced or controlled by this phone. So it's time for us to take a break. There
Mm-hmm.
should be a time like digital fasting, like in Hindu culture or in some other cultures, people have a fasting on a particular day. They sacrifice a day without food. So I think it's time for people to understand we should keep a day when we should do digital fasting. So maybe we do not
Mm-hmm.
touch the phone at least for a few hours of the day, and we can really spend time with our family, or we should do some creative work which can
Mm-hmm.
really activate the gray cells of our mind.
Mm-hmm.
So the more we try to do that, we try to bring in a discipline in our life, it's going to make things more easier. And we
Mm-hmm.
just make a regime that we should, this part of the time we should give for the screen, because the screen time should be limited. And the
Mm-hmm.
same problem is getting also inherited by the children. Due to pandemic, you can see people are getting more glued to the screen time. People are getting their tuitions to the laptop, their classes are going on laptop, office work is happening home, like work from home. So I think all these things are to a larger extent responsible for it. But we should make a routine for everything, that this much of screen time we should be doing. And beyond that, we should not really do that. Otherwise, we'll become a slave of this digital culture. And
Mm-hmm.
almost people are becoming a slave actually. So the day is not far when we would have an unhealthy rest. People will have, already we have become a couch potato. So I don't really
Mm-hmm.
blame people, because it's due to the maybe the last 3 years, the disaster which we have seen due to the COVID. So
Mm-hmm.
I think it's time for us to revive ourselves, and
Mm-hmm.
let's make sure that we follow a regime. We
Mm-hmm.
only use it for a limited time, and that much of
Mm-hmm.
screen time should be also given to us.
Mm-hmm.
And we should teach ourselves as well as our younger generation at home. And if we can do that, and as I said, that we should have some day for digital fasting, that this much of
Mm-hmm.
time we should not really spend with the devices. I think that is good.
Mm-hmm.
This kind of practices, and it's all about self-discipline. So if you can
Absolutely.
have a kind of self-discipline in your life, I'm sure we can overcome this digital craze or digital attraction.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is how we can do that.
Absolutely. And I really love your idea of digital fasting. It's really wonderful concept you said that by keeping ourselves away from the all these devices, for a minimum
Mhm.
period of time, so we can really uh, we can really remove the problem of distraction.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
that is really a wonderful idea. Okay. So now you are an influencer, you are a speaker, you are a TED speaker. So I have seen you, from your starting, and it's been really wonderful journey for you. So could you plus could you please tell us something about your journey, that how things have happened or how things really emerged for you from uh, a place called Barakpur to Dubai, or maybe different parts of the world. So how has been the journey for you?
It's really an interesting question, in fact. But then I would try to be very much, specific and to the point to your question. See, if I really look into my career, if I look back for a flashback, if I say, then I really do not see much of planning, because what has brought me this much, it is like certain series of incidences and some facts which kept on happening. There are some eventual coincidence. So
Mm-hmm.
all these things has brought me this far. However, I initially was trained to become a software engineer, and that is how got my first job in a software firm. But gradually, when I started exploring myself and I understanding, my expertise, or you can say my interest areas, I found myself getting drawn to more of people-oriented cultures. So where I found that I have got some sort of human relations, where I found some kind of public liaison, or
Mm-hmm.
whether it is some kind of change agent, you can say, where I can help people to fulfill some work, or where I can be a part of a process where I can do the value addition. So
Mhm.
whether it is like a trainer, whether it has been like a business person, whether it has been a kind of influencer. So
Mhm.
all these years, I have seen myself in different shades.
Mhm.
Okay, so whether if I have been associated with an organization where I was trying to help them, give them some consulting that how exactly they should do the work, or they are supposed, hiring some people, but they don't know how exactly the thing has to be done. So there we have to train them. So in every sort of my past experience, I have
Mhm.
always tried to see myself that where I can be a change agent. So
Mhm.
and I think the biggest influencer to me is always it's me myself, because I have always motivated myself, because every time when I've seen that I have no options,
Mhm.
then it is me who has come out with a proper answer, and I have always come back with a new solution for my career. So
Mhm.
this is how all through, and frankly speaking, there has been no such proper planning, because eventually certain things kept on happening, and
Mhm.
then I have found always a new way to move out.
Mhm.
So this is how, because otherwise you can see that an IT engineer suddenly become a human resource guy, then a business manager, and then again he goes into a training. So I have been always experimenting, but
Mhm.
I think this experimentation way went in a right way, because this is what go hand in hand with your passion, with
Mhm.
your level of interest, and how you can channelize your energy to
Mhm.
bring in a change which can really make a difference to the larger picture. I mean, the people
Mhm.
on the bigger forum. So, how exactly you can influence people on a larger level? So, that
Mhm.
I have been always very insistent in doing in my life. And
Mhm.
that is what is still driving me to go further.
Mhm.
So, what
Oh,
propels me is, of course, making a difference to people. How
okay.
exactly I can make people's life. So, this is how I've been like traveling all through.
Okay.
And I'm sure.
Yes. So absolutely fine. The young generation will take a lot of inspiration from these all these words. Now, one thing I would like to know from you that those who really want to make their future better, those who really want to do something great in their life. So what they should do in their in their life besides their academic life, that what are the skill they should develop?
See, there are a lot of things, of course, a person can do to become successful in life, and that's why there are hundreds and thousands of videos available in different social forum, YouTube, in LinkedIn. People give a lot of training programs, but there are four basic things which one can do, which really helps a person to really become successful. I have always followed it myself, and I'm sure you'll agree with that. The first thing is like you need to have a proper discipline in life, which is very
Mhm.
important.
Absolutely.
Without following a discipline, nobody can do anything. So you need to have a regime. You need to set a proper priority for yourself, that these are the things which I'll be doing in my life, and for achieving that I should follow a particular discipline. That is very important. Second thing is, you always have to make sure that you should be a person with a proper planning, that whatever plan you must have you know done for your career, or whether it's for your kind of a project, or it can be your business. You need to
Mm-hmm.
have a proper planning on that. So that is, I think, is very important for someone. And the third thing, which is really important, that you need to have a commitment to yourself, because people make promise, but
Mm-hmm.
promises are made to be broken. Our promises are made to fail. But if you make a commitment to yourself that this is something which I'm going to really do,
Mm-hmm.
and I really want to see myself in that position, so I think that is what will always give you the inner motivation or the internal motivation to
Mm-hmm.
move ahead in life. Okay. And the fourth and the final thing, which I always find is very important for someone, is always the kind of trust on yourself, that you might find people around you are saying so many negative things. They
Mm-hmm.
are always pessimists. They will say that nothing will happen, but you should not lose the trust on yourself. Have the
Mm-hmm.
trust,
Mm-hmm.
or in other way, I should say that there should not be any room for self doubt.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Absolutely.
there would be time when people will be a lot of naysayers around you who always would say, ah, this guy will not be able to do anything in life. Or, you will
Absolutely.
find the parents are saying that, you are actually going in the wrong direction. I have wasted my money. And people will say that I have got a wrong guy. But it is you who know who you are. And when
Mhm.
you can really work on yourself continuously and you can continuously enhance yourself, develop yourself, and one day you trust yourself that yeah, I'm going to really shine up. I
Mhm.
know what is my position, I know my value, I know my self worth. And
Mhm.
if you can really prove that, if you
Mhm.
can do this four things, so as I said, the discipline is very important in life. You need to
Mhm.
have a proper planning in your life. You need to have a commitment to yourself, and then the trust that what exactly you commit, what exactly you plan is going to definitely succeed one day. So
Mhm.
there's four things. If every single person in this world is going to do,
Mhm.
then everybody is successful. No matter whichever book they have read, whichever person they have followed, but if they don't do these four things, they cannot be successful in life. I think that's really the baseline for everybody.
Okay, absolutely. That is amazing. That is wonderful. And one thing also, no, I have seen you in your ups and downs. I really witnessed you
Sure.
from a close quarter.
Exactly.
One thing is, I have noticed in you that uh, you don't become sad, or you always remain upbeat, you always remain motivated. Okay, this is the one quality I have seen in you. So if I ask you how you get the motivation, how you remain motivated when you are low, when you are down, when things are not happening the way you want, so what is the source of your motivation?
A very simple reason. Always, all these years, I have been motivated. Experience with a spiritual being with a human experience. So we are all
Hmm.
actually having a spiritual experience first, and then how exactly we are living a life of a human life. So that is
Hmm.
important. But what we forget in life that we run for the materialistic comfort so much that
Hmm.
we forget the spirituality. So I have always valued the spiritual essence of my life, and spirituality for me is not like being too much into
Hmm.
religion, because spirituality is knowing yourself.
Hmm.
And when a person know himself, then I think he does not have to run for any other thing.
Hmm.
So I have always throughout my life, and still, of course, I'm trying to evolve myself, and I'm trying to explore myself, and also to at the same time know that who am I, what
Hmm.
exactly I'm doing, what is my role in life, why I have come here.
Hmm.
Am I doing the right thing for my time? Am I doing justice to my life? Because human life is very rare. How
Hmm.
much lamps we are lighting in a one life? Because we always try to find light everywhere. But if we do not lighten up our inner self,
Hmm.
then I think we should not find light anywhere.
Hmm.
So the way we are, we see people around us in the same manner. If you are
Hmm.
not positive, you cannot find positiveness around you. The way I am,
Absolutely.
the way I think in myself, I will always find the people on the other side in the same manner.
Hmm.
If I start my day with negativity, of course I will meet a lot of negative people around me. But if
Hmm.
I start my day with positivity within myself, and I know that whatever I have and whatever I can, I believe in that, and I am really happy with that.
Hmm.
I'm having the peace in that. I'm sure I will find the peace outside my life. I will find peace everywhere. But
Hmm.
if I don't have the peace here, I cannot find peace everywhere or anywhere. I think that is
Absolutely.
the basic thing I've been always believing. Maybe I have ate one chapati or I have not ate chapati, but I should have that satisfaction within myself that this is
Hmm.
something which is for me, and I should be happy with that.
Hmm.
If God has given me $100 in my pocket, then that is also God's choice. If God has not given even $1 also in my pocket, that is
Hmm.
God's choice. So I
Hmm.
think this is something which we should all have this approach in life,
Hmm.
and it's all about time, because time is the biggest healer,
Hmm.
and with time only things changes. So
Hmm.
I think I have never really, being too hard with myself,
Hmm.
because some people become too hard with themselves. They have too much of ambition. They have to do it, do it. But I
Hmm.
don't do that, because some day is not your day,
Hmm.
no matter how much you push yourself. So sometimes you have to be soft to yourself. You should also reward yourself at times. So I think all these things I've been doing for time, and this is how I've been motivating myself.
Absolutely. That is wonderful. Now, I would like to know from you that uh, you remain motivated, or you are uh, always remaining upbeat. So, is there anyone in your life that who has really motivated you most, or you have taken some motivation from anyone? Is there any role model, any particular uh, person or a group of person that really motivated you to be whatever you are today?
To be very frank and to be straightforward to this question, I should answer it in this way that first of all, no one can motivate anyone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, motivation is an action, which means motive behind the action. So, how somebody can motive for you? Nobody can
Mm-hmm.
motivate for you. So, you yourself have to motivate. What I
Mm-hmm.
can tell you is that yes, I have definitely been inspired by a lot of people. I've been inspired by my parents. I've been inspired by my wife, who has
Mm-hmm.
been a source of inspiration for me because after all I started this journey as a speaker or as a communicator after getting married only and not before that. So of
Mm-hmm.
course that's somewhere I found, and of course people like you who has been always my source of inspiration.
Okay, thank
I
you.
remember we were working together as
Mm-hmm.
a colleague. So you have been those days speaking about PMA, positive mental attitude. In fact, I was not
Absolutely.
even very serious about. So I was not very serious about it. I remember. And when I got you as a colleague, and then you have been speaking more on that, and then gradually I become interested on it. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember that is how I've been talking on Total Quality Management Program, TQM,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and then we were talking about various seminars and workshops. And that is how gradually I evolved myself into this thing. So
Mm-hmm.
I think it is very difficult to say that I have really got motivated, but of course I got inspired by a couple of people
Mm-hmm.
who really have helped me to pave my way. And this is how I find the purpose to motivate myself. Because many times motivation is a vague word.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you say that I've got a motivation, then motivation for what?
Mm-hmm.
You don't know actually. So I think
Mm-hmm.
motivation itself need to have a proper direction. So before
Mm-hmm.
motivation, we should talk about direction. And if you have the right direction and you have a right purpose,
Mm-hmm.
automatically you will get motivated.
Absolutely, yeah. So that is when the goal is very, very important. If somebody has the goal, if somebody has a purpose, that why I am getting up in the morning, what really makes me to do something.
Absolutely.
If somebody finds the purpose, then always
Yeah.
he will remain motivated. And
I agree.
so in that case, I would like to know from you that what is your purpose in life, that what drives you most.
The purpose of my life, as I said at the beginning of this session, that I always wanted to see myself as a catalyst where I can bring in some better purpose and a change to someone's life. So I think the choice to become a life coach or a wellness
Mhm.
speaker has only come from that because I have definitely acquired some experience. Now my only purpose is how those experiences are going to
Mhm.
help someone live a richer and better life and a purposeful life. Even I've been like, preparing to publish some of my books. So I think I'm writing and I'm trying to, I don't know how much value addition I can do, but at least whatever the little bit of education and knowledge I have, I try to distribute it among people. Let people have the same experience. At least I do not want people to do the same failures which I have. Maybe people
Mhm.
can learn from my failures. People can learn from my, the various errors which I've done in my life, and I know they can maybe have some triumphs in their life.
Mhm.
So maybe the triumphs and victory which I have seen in my life is only because I've worked on my failures. So if
Mhm.
I can help someone to, rectify and to improve them and do better in life, I
Mhm.
think that itself is a biggest satisfaction.
Mhm.
And you also being a teacher, I think you can also feel that when you see your students doing wonderful presentation in front of you
Mhm.
and they really imitate the way how you teach them, I'm
Mhm.
sure that gives a satisfaction.
Absolutely.
So the feeling is mutual. The feeling is same. I always see that how I can help somebody live a purposeful life. When
Mhm.
I see my consultant is really being benefited by my suggestion or by my ideas, I
Mhm.
think that makes my day. So that
Abs-
is the purpose which I really live for.
Absolutely. That is wonderful. That is amazing. Now, if I ask you one thing, that is, I deal with a lot of students basically, and they are clueless about their future. When I ask them that what do you want to be in future, they really don't know what they want to be. So in this case, what would be your suggestion that how they can find their goal, or how they can know that what they want to be? What would be your advice for them?
See, I see this as a very common problem in the present generation to have a lack of goal.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how much of education or the coaching they're getting, but still I see there is some kind of reluctancy in the young generation.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I think this is also because the kind of upbringing or the overprotectiveness of the parents, that
Mm-hmm.
everything they're getting before even they are really asking for it. So
Mm-hmm.
that is making them very much lethargic. And I think that's
Mm-hmm.
why they are not really understanding the importance of earning these things in their life. So that's why the zeal is somewhat losing.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have to really suggest or guide them, I think they should first try to identify their passion in life,
Mm-hmm.
what they really like to do in life, what they really are interested about doing in life. For example, I was in one educational institution and then I met few students there. So
Mm-hmm.
one of the students asked me that I never had any passion in life. So my immediate question to him is that have you ever tried something which you really like to do in life? He said, I have never tried, but I don't have a passion in life. So my immediate question is that unless you try something new, you
Mm-hmm.
try to explore yourself, how will you realize, my friend, what's your passion?
Mm-hmm.
So I think people nowadays are not trying to do many things because they are
Mm-hmm.
getting everything ready-made.
Mm-hmm.
So we have an instant culture.
Mm-hmm.
Parents are giving them instant culture. So I think to larger extent, the teachers, the parents are responsible for that
Mm-hmm.
clueless, future. Because if they are not having any clue for their future, it's because the way how they have been brought up in the society.
Mm-hmm.
In
Yep.
our times, we have a purpose. We know what we have to do out of when we are college. We know
Mm-hmm.
that we have to earn a livelihood. We know that we have to make our family, run. We have to
Mm-hmm.
make our, two ends meet. We have to get a livelihood. So I
Mm-hmm.
think this purpose is somewhere missing today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
So unless and until we have that, people will really not understand what is the meaning even of future.
Absolutely. And as you said, they don't have purpose, or they don't know what they want to do. But because the main problem is that our education system also, like in our
Hmm?
education system, they are always told to do good in academically. So what is your purpose? What is your suggestion for that? That uh, besides academics, what they can do to make their future better?
To do that, first of all, they should not only see that academic curriculum is only to fulfill their professional,
Mm-hmm.
purpose or the goal in life, but academic thing should be seen as a fulfillment.
Mm-hmm.
When a child or when a person grows up, I think academic things are really important for the significant development in a person's life because, if you see a child's development, the cognitive skills only happens when the person is going through a proper academic curriculum.
Mm-hmm.
But what is more important is that he or she should spend more time into social activities
Mm-hmm.
where the person is socializing more so that the person can develop the articulation skill, can develop the communication and the public speaking skill. These are really
Mm-hmm.
important. The
Mm-hmm.
person should really come out of his or her secured zone because
Mm-hmm.
we are always trying to create some kind of zone around them that you do not go outdoor, you will get hurt, you don't go under the sun, you will be having sunburn,
Mm-hmm.
you don't mingle with people. So in the childhood, we always tell them, don't talk to the stranger, don't talk to the
Mm-hmm.
unknown people. So the more we tell them, we grow the inhibitions, and that's why they are
Mm-hmm.
shy.
Mm-hmm.
And tomorrow, the same person, when he grow up, he is
Mm-hmm.
not able to speak fluently, and we are complaining that he's introvert. So
Mm-hmm.
how much we are correct? So in one way, we are saying when they are small children that don't go and talk to the stranger, don't mix with the new people. Now, if they do not mingle with new people, if they don't go out in the society, can you tell me
Mm-hmm.
how exactly we expect them to be confident, how we want them
Mm-hmm.
to be? So I think we ourselves are responsible for all these things. So if you are
Mm-hmm.
sowing a wrong seed, you cannot get a right plant. So I think
Absolutely.
that is how
Absolutely.
what you should do tomorrow. So that
Absolutely.
is what missing.
Absolutely. So there are
That is basically.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I 100% agree with you. And one thing is, in this case, I would like to add something more, that in school also the teachers should encourage the students to speak up. Basically, I have been teaching in schools, and there I see that whenever a student or a child, they speak something, maybe something wrong they are speaking, they are giving some wrong answer. So in that moment, what happens? The teacher scolds, and the teachers, they uh, do something. They demoralize that, and the next time when they
Okay.
and next time when they try to speak, they think about that incident. Okay, no, if I speak again, if I
Yeah.
make some mistake, so my teacher will again scold me. So what happened? They
Or humiliate me.
humiliate me. Yeah. So
Yeah.
what I suggest to the teachers, those, if any teachers are watching this uh, program or watching this talk show, I would I request this teacher that, you should always encourage the students to speak. Maybe they are speaking wrong, something wrong, maybe some mistake they are making, but you should always motivate them, inspire them to speak up so that they
So
can. Yes,
I,
absolutely. Okay, so let us talk.
I think, yeah, please
Yes.
carry on.
So let us take something different from our perspective. Like, let us go towards our uh, student centric, as there are a lot of students, who would be watching this program, and uh, like as you said just before, that, public speaking skill or communication skill, they really, help a lot to be successful in
Mhm.
life. So
True.
is it true that to be public speaker, one has to be, extrovert, or one has to have the talent? Is it a learnable skill, or it is something inborn?
See, speaking is a kind of skill which is there in every human being since their birth.
Mm-hmm.
We always have this thing that we should respond to stimuli, that how exactly we respond.
Mm-hmm.
And since the time the language evolved, people have started speaking. So it's an inborn skill.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how well you speak or how well you articulate is something which can be trained and practiced. It's
Mm-hmm.
not an inborn skill. And now coming down to like how exactly one can really, practice or what exactly to do become a good speaker. So I should say that it has to be carefully practiced. One does not come from the birth a good speaker. So
Mm-hmm.
if somebody is saying that a person is introvert cannot be a good speaker, then it is absolutely wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Because even I am personally introvert, and I have seen that being introvert is a choice.
Mm-hmm.
You really may not like to speak every time in every place because
Mm-hmm.
you really know what is the value of your speech.
Mm-hmm.
And even effective communication means the same, that you
Mm-hmm.
only open your mouth when your mind is syncing with your mouth. If your mind is not in sync with your mouth, then you would be probably ending up saying something wrong. And
Mm-hmm.
that is nothing but miscommunication.
Mm-hmm.
So I think people should differentiate between, just a communication and effective communication.
Mm-hmm.
And people really have a choice of being introvert and extrovert.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a, matter of, experience. And
Mm-hmm.
I think if you are really telling any student, we should always try to get them more involved in expressing themselves freely,
Mm-hmm.
because expression is very important. How you could emote yourself, how you can express your heart to a person, what
Mm-hmm.
you're trying to say to somebody. The more we try to think on that, language is never a barrier. Maybe there could be some grammatical mistake, but the
Mm-hmm.
purpose is how we can put across our thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You imagine when we must have started speaking English, maybe our English was not good initially, and
Mm-hmm.
we also have made a lot of mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually, when we started speaking more and more, of
Mm-hmm.
course, someone has guided us, and then we have learned how this language should be spoken. And
Mm-hmm.
then gradually picked up the presentation skill, we picked up the communication nonsense, and we have understood what are the public speaking tips and tricks. And
Mm-hmm.
gradually, one can become, so that the nuances of public speaking has to be first of all explained to someone, and then one can understand that what one should do and what one
Mhm.
should not do.
Mhm.
So I think these
Absolutely.
are the basic things that one should first of all understand before even trying to become a good speaker.
Mhm. Absolutely. That is really wonderful. Now, let me wrap up this session. And before wrapping it up, I would like to know a very important question, important thing from you, that uh, where would you like to be yourself in the next 5 years? What is your goal in the next 5 years? That where do you want to be, or
See,
where
I
do you
have
want?
a very clear, I have a very clear-cut goal which I can see in front of me. I would see myself more intense in my job, what I'm doing, to
Mhm.
be a catalyst.
Mhm.
I would really see myself as a who's who in the industry,
Mhm.
where I could really find myself be a part of everybody's success journey.
Mhm.
I could see that at least out of 10, every 3% should be able to recognize me, at least saying that this person has brought a change in my life. I
Mhm.
could see a lot of people cheerful and happy around me
Mhm.
and with a proper purpose, and they are at peace and living life in a wonderful manner. I think that is what is my purpose. In the next 5 years, I will want to touch many lives, touch
Abs-
many careers. That is
mhm.
what is exactly my aspiration.
Okay, absolutely. That is no wonderful, and this really bang on. And I wish all the success to you, and
Thank you so much.
you achieve whatever you want in your life, and God bless you. Uh,
Thank you for inviting me to the show. And
yeah.
I wish all success to all your viewers and everybody who's watching this program.
Okay. Thank you so much, and it has been really wonderful talking with you. And I hope that in future we'll be connecting and we'll be doing more such uh, talk shows,
Sure.
more such videos, so that the people around us, they get some kind of knowledge, some kind of road pathways, so that they can go ahead in their future. So
It would
thank
be a pleasure.
thank you so much, Mr. Pimanku Das. It has been honor, it has been privilege, it's been pride for me, and thank you so much. It has been really wonderful talking
Thank
to
you.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye.